Hi, it's vegan nutritionist Paul from Hench Herbivore, and this is my perspective on why Rawvana failed as a vegan. Here is YouTuber Yovana on a typical day of eating.
For breakfast, we're making a banana spinach smoothie. This is one of my favorite combinations. For this recipe, you will need 1 to 3 bananas, 1 scoop of Vivo Life protein powder, and it's a raw vegan protein powder, 1 tablespoon of almond butter, 1 cup of almond milk, 1 cup of water, and of course, some spinach. You put all of these ingredients in the blender and blend it up really well. Once it's done, you serve it, and that's it. You have a quick, easy, and delicious breakfast. Cheers!
Okay, so this breakfast is a measly 367 to 577 calories. There is new science backing up the idea that front-loading your calories is the best strategy for weight loss. I noticed that there's a lack of omega-3s here. The best foods for this are flax and chia seeds, which must be ground, so putting them in the smoothie would have been a great idea. I like to take my supplements with breakfast to make sure that I've had them for the day. It would have been good to mention B12 here for people maybe not in the know, perhaps new to veganism, and also perhaps vitamin D for people who don't get sufficient sun exposure. I also like to get some seaweed in to ensure adequate iodine. Either some dulse or arame flakes, half a teaspoon would be all you need, and that could have been well hidden in that smoothie. Or I'll take a couple of sheets of nori, soak it in a water and tamari solution, and then just eat that as is.
For lunch, we're making a delicious Mexican salad. For this, you need romaine lettuce chopped up, tomatoes chopped as well, some red onion to give it a really good flavor,
Phew, I didn't think there were going to be any calories for a minute.
1 whole avocado, salt and pepper, and optional lemon juice. We now have our delicious Mexican salad. This looks so good, you guys. I am drooling over this. It's simple, it's delicious, it's easy. It's perfect.
Okay, so the avocado bumps the calories up somewhat. Avocados are high in monounsaturated fat or omega-9, which is non-essential. Again, I'm seeing no omega-3 yet. This meal is also low in carbohydrate, our species-specific preferred fuel source. Some minerals like calcium are a little on the low side so far, and others such as zinc and particularly selenium are woefully low. She's got a lot of making up to do in this last meal.
For our dinner, we're making a zucchini pasta, and for this you need zucchini noodles, but you can also use cucumbers, shredded carrot, chopped spinach, and for the dressing you want to use 1 to 2 tablespoons of cashew butter, but you can also use tahini if you don't have it, or if you don't have any butters, then just use cashews and blend it with some lemon juice, which I'm mixing here, salt, pepper, cumin powder, garlic powder. Mix it all up really well. And finally, just mix all of the ingredients. And just like that, you have a delicious zucchini pasta. Smells so good, so fresh. I'm so excited to eat this. So excited. Now, for those of you wondering what to eat during the day if you get hungry, fruit is gonna be the best snack. You can eat a banana, persimmon, mandarins, oranges, grapes, strawberries, whatever it is that you want. Even cherry tomatoes. I love cherry tomatoes as a snack. So remember, this diet is of abundance. Eat as much as you want. If you're hungry, eat. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just eat fruits and vegetables.
I've logged Yovana's day of eating into an app, and it tells me that the calories were a little under 1,000, which for an adult would be considered a starvation diet. Obviously, later on in the video, she does say to fill up on fruit if you get hungry. My concern as a nutritionist is that someone may try to follow Yovana's presented day of eating to the letter and end up potentially with muscle loss, a damaged metabolism, even an eating disorder. I also did another log adding in extra fruit to bring the calories up to what I consider to be a safe level for a female trying to lose fat. Despite adding in 2 bananas, 2 persimmons and a mandarin, many nutrients were still too low, setting people up for disease and for failure. Total fats are definitely sufficient at 45 degrees of total calories for the food as shown and 30% of calories for the food with the added fruit. Many plant-based doctors would consider both those levels of fat intake a little too high and that we should emphasize more carbohydrate. This is a bit of a discussion still for most people, so I'll leave that down to the individual. What's shockingly low is the essential fatty acid omega-3 at only 0.6 of a gram. The RDA is 2.2 grams, so no wonder she was tempted into consuming the poor gateway victim that many ex-vegans gravitate towards: fish. The easy answer to avoid having to hurt any animals, just add in a couple of tablespoons of ground flax or chia seeds. Although her omega-6 for the day is below the RDA, I personally don't see this as a bad thing. There is currently no science on the minimum required by humans. It's simply an arbitrary number based on how most Westerners eat, i.e. too much meat and refined oils. Most Westerners have some degree of pain or disease caused by ingesting too much of this compound. Even with the protein supplement added, total protein for the day just scrapes in above the minimum required level. Had Jovana not have added the protein supplement on the lower amount of calories, she'd have got a mere 23 grams of protein, and with the added fruit, not much better at 32. The World Health Organization cautions women to aim for a minimum of 46 grams. Personally, for someone on such a low amount of calories, I would advocate for people to stick to the whole foods. If we want more protein, then things like legumes. When we add in a supplement to an already small amount of calories, we're having even less calories from the whole foods. That's where all your nutrition is, vitamins, minerals, etc. So we can end up with gaps. If you just ate the recipes as shown, then 4 of your B vitamins would come up short. If you added in the extra fruit, then you'd be short on 2 B vitamins. Most of the rest of the vitamins are covered. As I alluded to earlier, if we're not getting sun, we should take a vitamin D tablet. I would hope that most vegans would know to supplement with a vitamin B12 tablet. In terms of minerals, on the main plan, 7 minerals have come up short. If you add in the extra fruit like I did, then you're still short on 4 of them. The sodium would be fine because of the added table salt. A more well-rounded plan with things like legumes, whole grains, tubers and other cooked vegetables would see all of Jovana's nutritional deficiencies catered for. Iodine and selenium being low would lead to insufficient thyroid hormones, which would affect your mood, your ability to lose weight, your body temperature and libido. This would have a knock-on effect to sex hormones and cortisol as they try to pick up the slack. Over time you'd just get burned out and you'd feel very miserable, making this diet very difficult to adhere to. Fish has good levels of iodine and omega-3, along with some vitamin D, which is important for mood as well. So you can see why Jovana would be tempted to put this back on her plate, despite not really wanting you to know about it. Many health professionals are starting to see the well-being of our gut microbiome as the key to good physical and mental health. The number one determinant of which is the diversity in the Prevotella strains of bacteria that we have invited to live in our colon via our food choices, i.e. the more different whole plant foods that we eat, the better. If we're only eating raw foods, then we slash our potential for biodiversity. For that reason alone, I consider a raw vegan diet as probably inferior to a more balanced whole foods vegan diet that also contains cooked food. To summarize, I don't wish to hate on Jovana. I don't see her as a bad person, just potentially ill-informed. It's just a shame when someone has such a large platform and ends up making veganism look bad, or goes back on their supposed ethics just for the sake of a little nutritional knowledge. Clicking this video is the best thing that you could do with your life. If you don't click on it, 1,000 insects will club together and steal your wallet in the night time.